Welcome everyone to round 3, the final round of Star Wars Unlimited's Locals Night at Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana. If you guys are looking for a place to play some Star Wars Unlimited, Valkyrie Vault is a place to check out. 6 p.m. Thursday night, $5 entry, a minimum of $5 entry, and then you always walk away with your promo pack and at least one pack of the current set. At time of this recording, LOF. So I'm here. I'm undefeated. I did go second in this tournament with Trench, Colossus. My tiebreakers unfortunately meant I got second. We typically only do 3 rounds at the locals, so we had 2 4-0s. I had got down paired, so we had 2 3-0s. So unfortunately, my tiebreakers unfortunately meant I lost. So that's where it sometimes comes down to. Sometimes is the tiebreakers. Oh well, I still got second, so I'm not gonna scoff about it. And yeah, so I'm on Trench Colossus against our round 1 Anakin Force Blue. We've already talked about this deck in the round 1. As a reminder, Force Blue base states whenever you swing with a Force unit, get the Force, and then Anakin states you can burn the Force to ignore the aspect penalty for villainy events and upgrades. So non-unit cards, which is pretty nice. Does come out on 5, I have 4/7. And does the exact same thing, burn the Force to ignore the aspect penalty. Well, folks, I don't play Control often and my locals, but I do have to bust out my Trench showcase every now and then. I was joking about playing Trench plot, and I have looked at a lot of the plot cards. I don't know if there's any aspect where I'm going to play Trench plot. There are very little plot cards that have exactly tickled my fancy just yet. The Disclose, though, that's tickled some fancies. The plot, I have found very little, if any, cards I enjoy from that mechanic just yet. They all just seem just very bad. Very bad to, I may play one of it for the gimmick. What I could do. But anyways, this is Trench Colossus. This is just straight control. Do you kids like control? I don't play much control locals. I know some people will play control of locals, but for me personally, I don't play control of locals. The only time I'll ever play control is a store championship, but that's because there are, big name prizes on the line, and that's the only real time I like to play control. But I bring it up every once in a while to locals. Most of the time I don't bring control. I bring more like aggression, mid-range strategies to locals. Decks that aren't like Sabine or Trench or Iden, anything that I know is like really, really good. I like to bring other strategies. So, yeah, unfortunately for my opponent, it's not a fun time to play this game with me. But yeah, so Trench, if you haven't seen it before, it's action, tap him. If you're at 6 or more, tap him. You can discard a card that costs 3 or more, and then draw 1. Then he has no epic action, none at all. That's why he works the best with the plot cards. Because plot, if you don't know, states on it when you awaken, when your leader comes out, you may take one of the plot cards, play that cost. The problem again is that Trench doesn't actually have an epic action. He has to, when you're at 6 or more, pay 3 and tap him. You flip him over. You will take the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal it to your opponent. Your opponent discards 2 of them. You draw 1 and then discard the other. So you're self-milling. This is not really a problem when you have the ability to go for restock to add a card back to hand. You have bounty hunters, the bounty hunters to then get back restock, so you can do all that. But nonetheless, run the Colossus. We get 5 cards in our starting hand. 5 cards in our starting hand. So we're starting out with 3 automatically, and we're just playing straight control. That's all we're doing. So sit back, relax, and let's watch non-gameplay happen. I'm sorry to all of you that have to watch this. Anyways, we're just going to roll some dice here. It looks like the Anakin player is going to be going first here. Again, not much you can really do. I'm just going to immediately claim the initiative here on round 2 for the next round, because that's all I can do here. Because not really much else I could do when your whole entire deck is all about control. So anyways, we're going to say, I am your father, the guardian of wheels. My opponent is going to allow me to draw the 2. Draw the 3 cards, and then they're going to hit my base for 2, and then create the Force here. That is the one problem. I would just say with a lot of aspect, maybe it's better, as we see the Anakin use it to reduce the cost of the Saber, and then we're going to bring out the Bears, Ophi as well. That, in my opinion, I think saying no to just allowing the 7 damage to go through is a whole lot better than like anything at all. I know Bear's Ophi, I said in round 1 gets a +1 for Republic. No, it's a +1 when something is healed. So anyways, we're just gonna go for the takedown onto the Guardian of the Wills. We're gonna claim back the Force off of the Bear's Ophi because of the swing. And I just claim, I mean, what else am I doing here, folks? And nothing really else. So anyways, I'm gonna go Trench. I'm gonna pitch out the Waylay to draw 1. I know it sounds dumb, but I have a lot of really good cards in my hand. As we see the turret now. Again, I feel so bad for my opponent. Again, I joked with him about some people like to play control. I'm not one to like to play control. I do like the concept of what control can do here, but a lot of times I don't like bringing it to locals. If you're someone who likes to play control to your locals, that's fine if if everyone else agrees with it. I only bring it maybe once each format just to see how well it does. Or like I said, I'll only do it when I have to. So anyways, I'm gonna go for a search your feelings to then search any card I want from the deck and then grab it. Funny enough, I don't have any search my feelings in my collection, so I did have to get some from, I did bought 2 off from a local, so I did go get the Vigilance there because next turn I do have the ability to go for the Vigilance. Sure, to swing for 3 here to hit me. I'm going to go for 1 here, and I'm going to go for Price on my head under the Bear so that I can heal back the 6 here because since she is a unique unit. Again, Trench is all about just the stall out strategy. Trust me, these decks are potentially annoying to deal with in any case. Anyways, the Anakin's going to flip. We're going to put a Jedi lightsaber under, and then the Anakin is going to swing. So basically, that's how you have to beat me. You have to beat me with pure aggression. You got to beat me down with pure aggression because you know I can slowly start hitting you in the face. I can slowly start hitting you. For instance, I had the Vigilance. I can go Vigilance, kill off the Bear's Ophi, and then immediately remove it. I cannot do Vigilance and bring out Trench the same turn because I have to pay 3 to do Trench as well. So we're going to go for the Vigilance to kill off the Bear's Ophi, and then I am going to do that. I'm going to then just heal a bunch back off of it. So I'm going to get my heal from Price on your head, or top target, and then a heal from the Vigilance here. So I basically just reset myself back. There's not much else I could do. I burnt out all my resources here. Not else I could do, so I'm just going to decide whether or not I want to really use Trench to go for the draw 1. I'm kind of really undeciding it because, again, I could pitch out a card as long as it's 3 cost or more and go for the draw. So I'm going to pitch out the Perilous Positions to take the draw, just trying to dig a little deeper. I'm going to get hit with the turret here, and then my opponent is going to go for all 6, and they're going to throw out Anakin Skywalker. Nothing to really give, but again, they're just spamming bodies on the board, just trying to get aggressive here so they can win the game. Again, once I hit my 8th threshold, I'm at the most dangerous point in my because that does mean I have Super Laser Blast here I can go with. So we're going to just pay up the 6. We're going to go Rival's Fall onto the Anakin, immediately knocking it out off the board so I don't have to deal with that one. And then we're immediately going to have the Anakin Champion Mortis swing in. We're going to go for another Trench to discard a I Am Your Father to draw 1 more. And then we're going to go for Chura to swing in for 3. So that does that. And then we're going to immediately pay all of that. We're going to go for a Luke Skywalker, but unfortunately we're going to hit the 8th threshold, and I have my Super Laser Blast in my hand right now. So I am just be able to immediately go for Super Laser Blast, immediately removing the board state, and then just finishing things up here. That's all we're going to do. So we're going to write up the Super Laser Blast, just going to clean up the board state and remove it all. Again, that just leaves now. But again, our Anakin player can play out more bodies because I don't have any resources. We're going to play out the Luke Skywalker that when you play a unique unit, you can use the Force to give himself a shield and an experience token. We're going to put an Heirloom Lightsaber under him so that we can heal off 0 damage right now because I haven't punched the board state. Yeah, the aspect here in the control is that I'm going to either mill you out and then slowly burn you because you cannot draw, or you're going to run out of things to play, and I'm just going to win from there. So we're going to go for Merciless Contest, which completely is unwritten incorrect. Both sides choose a non-leader unit and kill it. Unfortunately, it does not require that both sides have a unit to kill. It just states on it, you just simply kill something. So anyways, I'm going to reveal top 4 here. There was a Merciless Contest, in Trench. I saw Super Laser Blast. So again, my opponent gets to pitch out 2 of them, and then do that. So looks like a Power Dark Side and something else. So I'm going to go for the pick of Merciless Contest. We're going to immediately deal 5 straight damage to me with that. With the Force Choke and then Force Choke effect, I'm going to draw 1 more card off the thing because I dealt 5 damage. We're going to go Merciless Contest. We're going to pitch another 3. We're just going to kill it because Merciless Contest was completely written in wrong. It's nice that, kill cards like that have been written a little better. But yeah, there's not really much right now the Anakin player can really do. I'm now just entering this state of just pure control, and it's just not good. So Flight of the Inquisition. In Flight of the Inquisition, you can add back a force unit and a lightsaber, so that's pretty nice there. Actually does work. You don't really see that card very much often there, but it looked like a fallen lightsaber, and I think a Luke Skywalker also as well. But yeah, I mean, most time when you're in my things, I'm just a control strategy, so that's all I'm going to do. Just kind of picking out what I want to do here. So we're gonna go for 3. We're just gonna flip trench again. Entrenched. So it looks like entrenched outmaneuver. One of those was frozen carbonite, and I forget what the last one was, but you guys can pause the video to see what it is. So they definitely entrenched. So it was a takedown. So I'm going to take the entrenched there just so I could freeze something if I want to. Remember, entrenched states a guy cannot swing, so my opponent just simply looks like took the initiative there. So we're just going to pass again. And yeah, I know my deck is getting thin, but I have restock, so I just restock again. I just start restocking at that point all the I simply will just start restocking everything. Like I have one in hand right now, so I can restock the vigilances, so I could just heal all of the damage, and then my opponent mill my opponent to death and force them whatever they draw and whatever they have in hand doesn't die to all of my control, which is, you know, pretty nice. But again, I'm not someone to always have the fun with control. So anyways, the Anakin is going to be able to kill here because, again, he did have both a Vigilant, a Heroic, and a Villainy card in there. So when it was going to go for Fell the Dragon, immediately kill off the Anakin. Again, like, what do you expect me to do? I'm just playing control. I'm just going to respond to every unit that is on the board right now. I cannot flip again, so we're going to pay the remaining 6. I'm going to heal back 5, mill my opponent 6 cards there because, you know, this just feels exactly what we should do in a control matchup. At this point, most of the time I would say just maybe scoop it up and that'd be it. It's like, what else are you really going to do? I mean, you know, I'm just going to continue the board state at the same pace I'm going at, just controlling it to the point where there's not really much of a point in anything else. We're going to go for the Luke Skywalker here. We're just immediately going to power the dark side, remove the Luke Skywalker. Oh, you know, rewatching this, I sometimes wonder why I like control. I mean, I like it for the concept. Well, there's the tech. I was joking. I was looking for my tech because I did have the Annihilator in my resources, and I wanted the tech to come into hand. I was kind of surprised they actually gave me the tech, so I do decide just to take it. The problem was that restock is really nice there, but restock can target restock and do that. And yeah, the most damage I've been doing here is with Trench. That's the most damage I have done is with Trench. Trench has punched for 8 so far, and that is it. That is the max amount of damage I have done to this board state. Yeah, I do have the Annihilator. I mean, I could play at the Trench here, or the tech here, and then get stuff, but I mean, there's not really much else. I mean, what is my opponent really going to do? They're going to play out the Yaddle. I could literally just punch a Yaddle with a Trench and just kill it off and ignore the base for a turn. We're immediately going to put the Heirloom Lightsaber, which means that Trench can't kill this thing off. But again, I still have so much I can do. There's just like so many things I still have the ability to do. So we're just going to waylay Yaddle back to hand. I mean, folks, what do you expect? I'm in yellow. I'm going to have waylay in my deck. So I'm just going to swing Trench over and kill off the second Yaddle, and it's like, what else is my opponent going to do? Yeah, I'm running out of cards, but it's like it's restock, and my opponent's just going to concede at that point. Yeah, not much they could do. The aspect here is I'm just controlling the board. Say, yeah, I'm running out of cards, but I'll just restock to go for restock, vigilance, and then one other card back to the bottom of my deck, and I'll just constantly do that on the forever basis. So I'll target both restocks, 2 vigilance, and then I'll just slowly heal and mill, and then I'll just use tech to get anything I need out of my resources, or I just use Admiral Treads to continue to punch the board. So yeah, game 1 was always going to be mine, and yeah, it does feel kind of nasty playing it, and I do feel bad for my opponent. I probably should have swapped over. I did have a Kylo. I did have a second deck with me, but some people said I should play Trench Colossus, and I had to play him once. I had to play my Trench once. He's a showcase leader. I like to at least play my showcase leaders once. But again, the next time I will be bringing control will probably be Iden Data Vault, but that won't be until the store championship at Valkyrie Vault. So with that said, it's time to move into doing this all over again in game number 2. All right, folks, here we go for game number 2. The Anakin side does have the initiative here. They're going to start off with the Yaddle. I'm just going to claim initiative because I don't really have much to play on turn 1. I have stuff that starts on turn 3 and up. That's literally where my deck starts with. And again, it doesn't help that I'm only drawing 5 cards per turn. We're immediately going to go for I am your father to allow me to draw the 3 cards. Personally, I would just say just let it die. Don't give me the extra draw power. That's how I'm digging through my deck. So anyways, the Yaddle is going to be able to do 5 here and is able to claim the Force thanks to the Jedi Lightsaber, which still, it's pretty nice. I mean, that is a great way to start putting the aggression on me, but the problem is, again, I have all of this. So we're going to go for Power of the Dark Side, then immediately kill it off, because that's just the way the game goes, folks. And when you play Control, it's like, do they have the Control card to hit you in the face with? Yes, no, maybe so. Maybe this is what I should have brought to the PQ. I should have just brought Trench Control. Trench Colossus Control. That's what I probably should have brought. So anyways, we're going to go for the Luke here. Luke's going to burn the Force. We're going to get both a shield and both a experience token. We're going to bounce the Luke back to hand because why not? Did that Luke get bounced into the graveyard? That Luke should have gotten bounced back into the hand with the waylay there. Anyways, looks like opponent's just going to take initiative. We're just going to go for another top target onto the Barrister so I can heal off that big damage point. And we're just going to decide on what we want to put away. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I know I now have the Annihilator in my hand. That's like my only big class late game ship to throw down. And then we're going to just go for the Barrister to hit for 1 there, and then already claim the Force. We're mainly going to just pitch out the Annihilator there to draw 1 because it's just so late in the game. It's not going to be pointful. We're just going to Rivals Fall. I was mainly doing it to see if he bait out his leader there because I had this 6. Because I had the 6 there. We're going to go for another Yaddle. So mainly that's why I like baiting out to see what they do. So I just used the Trench to pitch the Annihilator. That's again late game if we even get to that point. No, just to see if I can get the leader to come out just so I can Rivals Fall it. It'll be kind of nice maybe because we lose Rival Fall and there's still a lot of cards in the game that don't straight up kill the leader. So it'd be nice to have the ability to do that. So anyways, we're going to go for outmaneuver. We're going to choose the ground. You choose space or ground, and then your opponent rests all the units in that same arena. So we just rested all the ground arena just so I don't have to worry about him coming in and punching with all of that. So anyways, we're going to pay for 3. We're going to immediately pay another 3. Because we're at 7 threshold here, we're going to flip the Trench so we can go for that. Again, I know a lot of people don't like Trench doesn't have an epic action, and I get it. Who the heck wants to care for that? Anyways, I did lose a Fellow Dragon. I did lose a Merciless Contest, which makes sense. You know, you don't want to. So I'm immediately going to hit for Bears. I'm going to immediately heal practically everything off my base there, just so I don't have to worry about it, thanks to my top target. I'm immediately just going to pass on that one. So yeah, I mean, it does suck. Like, people don't like that Trench has an epic action. I think it's the greatest, funniest gimmick in the world that he just constantly resurrects himself. So anyways, we're going to hit for the base 4/4 damage because, again, of the Heirloom Lightsaber onto Yaddle and then heal off non-existent damage. We're just going to swing in for 4 here. I am trying to be a little nicer. The fact I'm not immediately just going to kill this Yaddle off immediately with what I got in my hand, because I can easily do that. I could do that 10 Ways to Tuesday right now. So anyways, we're going to go for Power of the Dark Side here. Power of the Dark Side onto the turret, just so we can get it off. And then we're going to just go for Old Master Yoda Man. Then we're going to pay another. We're going to go for I Am Your Father. We're going to let it die this time, which is probably what they should have done the first time. I think that choking my hand when I Am Your Father is activated is the best. I only draw 2 cards, but when I can dig 3 cards deep, and then basically have drawn 5 cards by the start of the next turn is really, really nice. So anyways, Yoda's going to swing again. He's going to restore 1 there. I can kill the Yoda if I really wanted to go for, and then take back 2 damage there. But I do give my opponent a draw 1 here. So I am just going to swing on their base for another 4. Just slowly do damage with the only major thing on here that can do damage. As we have a Guardian of the Wills, we're going to go for the Vigilance here, paying the 6. Because again, I do have to pay the aspect penalty for that, so we're going to kill that off and immediately heal back up 5 damage there. I feel so bad for my opponent here. We're good friends at the shop and all of that. But anyways, Yoda's going to get a Jedi lightsaber here. Kind of deciding what I want to do here. I only have 3 resources up and left, so we're going to go for 2. We're going to entrench the Yoda. So that is now the biggest Yoda you've ever seen. All that Yoda can do is just swing at the Admiral Trench. Again, the Yoda entrench states that the card cannot attack my base at all. So it's really nice when you can entrench leaders and stuff like that to make sure they don't do anything. I'm not exactly sure how I got 2 damage on that. I think the only thing it swung over is a Bear's Ophi right now, so it only should have 1 damage. We're going to go for Jaquestus New, and then we're going to move the entrench over the Jaquestus New. So we're going to waylay back the the Yoda so I don't have to deal with it hitting me in the face. We're just going to bring back that Yoda there, and then immediately we're going to kind of decide what we want to do. I think I do have the Bounty Hunters active, so I could do that. But we're going to go just for the swing of Trench here. Hey, we're actually playing the game, everybody. We're not just playing straight, playing just swinging cards out of my hand and saying, you got a response for that? You got anything? I'm just going to pass on that. I mean, Yoda's not doing much. Kessis New could only punch Trench, but even if that is the case, Trench just resurrects next turn. Will resurrect again in the following turn. Anakin to ignore the aspect penalty and allow Yoda to get a fallen lightsaber there. We could easily go for another entrenched. We can also clean up the board state here. We're just going to clean up the board state. Maybe there would have been a point I should have probably just swung the trench in, deal a little more damage to my opponent's base there, and then gone the super laser tech. But again, it doesn't really matter. Trench just becomes more cybernetic every day, and it just comes back again and again and again. I think that's what his joke was in the Clone Wars, was that he couldn't actually die. I think Admiral Yularen had fought him before. I think that was the whole joke, was that the fact that he just continued to come back living, and he'd actually become back even more cybernetic as well, if I remember from the Clone Wars. But yeah, the game is definitely not in definitely just going into my favor very fast, very quick. Like I said, when the aspect is that you can get that. So we have a Frozen Carbonite and a restock. I'm just going to take the Frozen Carbonite, pitch the restock. As long as I have a restock in hand, I even have the Bounty Hunters already. So I'm just going to kill off the Bear's Ophi. I'm going to take the 3 damage to my body. I'm just basically keeping my opponent off, guys. That's what you do, Control. If they don't have a way to deal with the board state, they don't have a way to deal with the board state. And my opponent is just going to concede it. I mean, what are they going to do? It's straight control. I just have response after response after response. So my opponent sets a body, I'll just kill it with Trench and then resurrect Trench the following turn, and because he doesn't have an epic action. Or if I just have a way to kill off the body with, say, Takedown, Fell the Dragon, Rivals Fall. I think I was only playing one Rivals Fall in the deck, but I still have Vigilance. I had the Bounty Hunters to get back restock. I mean, I was only at a single damage point, so yeah, by the time my opponent could even set up a board to even kill me, I'll just utilize another Super Laser Blast, just clean up the board state. Yeah, Control's something, and like I said, it's an interesting strategy. I enjoy Control because I think there's a matchup in my mind of that Control really does make you think about your plays. Not everyone's going to like Control. Again, it is a triangle. You have decks that are control, decks that are mid-range, and decks that are aggro. And that's no more different than any other card game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has the exact same thing, and then Star Wars Unlimited has the exact same thing, where you have that triangle of control, mid-range, and aggro, where you have to understand that triangle. You have to understand how to play it. A lot of times, you maybe even have to just surrender out games because of the fact that even just scooping up games, even like PQs against control, because it's just better that you just scoop up the match so you just don't burn out the time and get tied. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't bring control to locals because it just doesn't feel good to bring control to locals. Now, in Trilogy, I might bring control to Trilogy because at least I'll have 2 other decks that I can play, and my opponent will just knock out the control strategy. And there is a thought when you think back to like doing Trilogy, especially now that we know Trilogy is using the standard format ban list, where you can build like a really aggressive and a really control and then force your opponent to have to banish out 1 of the 2, knowing that they may have a response to the other 2. But even then, I don't know. Like, I'm not a person that's going to constantly play control. I always like to experiment with other deck strategies. Like I said, most of the time I'll bring control is maybe once every like season, and then for the Store Championship, because I feel like I can play good in the Store Championship against control matchups. So if no one's played the control matchup in a long time, or no one's played that control matchup, they may not have the resources to outpace me. So there's always that. But nonetheless, I apologize to my opponent. I apologize to you all who had to watch this control matchup. It definitely was a whole lot not as fun as round 1 and round 2 was. But you guys let me know down in the comments your thoughts on Trench Colossus, on control, period. You guys an Iden Data Ball control player or a Trench Colossus control player? What are your thoughts on the Anakin Force Blue deck? And tell me how bad of a person I am for coming to locals with a control strategy. Just bring it all down onto me. I can take it. I'm a grown man. But let me know all your thoughts down in the comments if you guys have tried out either of these decks, your thoughts on the decks, and thoughts on control overall in Star Wars Unlimited. And while you're commenting, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you know if my videos go live for you. And we'll see you next time. I'm on Dragons, TCG.